Oh, I forgot to mention the goofy looking demon. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the movie Host, which came out on July 30th, 2020, so it's very, very new. This movie was directed by Rob Savage. To my knowledge, one of the only and maybe one of the first released movies that was filmed during the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, let's give it a try. It's only 56 minutes long. I don't want to call it found footage because it's not really found footage. Nobody found the footage. This movie is about a group of girls. It's English, so it's mostly English girls, and they jump on a Zoom call together, and one of them has arranged for a medium to also join their Zoom call, and they're going to have a seance via the internet. The whole entire movie takes place via Zoom call. Very timely. None of the girls are really taking it seriously. Some of them are cracking jokes. Some of them are lying about feeling presences, and eventually things start to go awry and they realize they have summoned a demonic spirit, evil spirit, something. At first I was kind of like, I'm not gonna like this movie. I really didn't like the movie Unfriended, which is the one of the only other movies I can think of that was made in this type of format.
What the fuck are you doing? Easy one. Never have I ever had sex.
That movie didn't really work for me, so I wasn't too excited. What I think this movie does really well is it plays on the fears that we're all sort of feeling right now. They just capture the fear of being alone, being stuck in your house, and being helpless. They are watching their friends be terrorized. They're watching each other be terrorized, and they're apart. They can't help. They can't do anything. This thing that's terrorizing them, that's not something they can just call the cops on. We're all feeling that right now. Some of the scares that I liked, some of them were specific call-outs to other movies that were made in the same vein. At one point, a girl throws flour all over the floor because she is sure something's in her house, and then you see the footprints happen on the flour, which made me really giddy because that happens in Paranormal Activity, and that was really cool. It happens a couple of times. We're in one of the girls' kitchens, and then in another girl's kitchen, a bunch of cabinets fly open all at the same time, which is, I think, another Paranormal Activity thing. There is this really wonderful shot that I think is very reminiscent of the iconic shot in Blair Witch Project. It's this girl, she's under the covers. She's probably got her laptop in front of her also under the covers, and all you can see is this one eye. It's this terrified eye and covers coming down. One of the characters has a Polaroid camera. Her house is very dark. And she's trying to see whatever it is that's terrorizing her, and so she's repeatedly taking Polaroid pictures so she can use the flash to see, which is, comes originally from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and then is used very, very well in the first Saw movie. One of the scares uses something that's always freaked me out, which is very of the times, those face filters, Snapchat and things like that. I always found it freaky when the face filter goes on to nothing, and then it's like, oh, is there something behind me? What is the face thing? The movie isn't perfect. I know I've been talking it up a lot. It always bothers me in these found footage movies when nobody actively tries to get help. When you're dealing with a demon, how much can the cops really help? Of course, the acting is so realistic and great that it just seems weird that nobody's like, I'm calling 911. Even if the phone has to fly out of their hand afterwards. Towards the end of the film, when there's really nobody left, spoiler alert, there's a person who has seemingly no motivation to continue the Zoom call. They could have thrown in there was a light on the computer than she needed, or something as to why she's still filming while absolutely terrified. At one point, one character goes to the house of another to try and help her. And when they finally see each other, I mean, they've been through absolute hell over the past hour, right? They're terrified, they're scared, their friends are probably dead. And when they see each other, they do a quick elbow tap. Because coronavirus. At this point, I don't think your main concern would be contracting coronavirus from your friend. You'd probably hug the shit out of them at that point. Oh, that took me out of it a little bit. I was like, really? We're going to elbow tap after, we're dealing with a demon here. The reason why I recommend this film is A, it's super entertaining. B, it makes use of its hour runtime. It doesn't get slow, it doesn't get boring, it doesn't get stupid, it holds your attention the entire time. It uses negative space really well. The whole thing is a Zoom call with the little boxes with all the characters, you know? They are staring at the screen, but you can stare at what's happening behind them. I watched it on a TV, but if you watched it on your computer, which a lot of people do watch movies that way, it'll probably feel like you're part of the Zoom chat, which is really neat as well. You know, I think it's important in this time when it's so hard to be creative and to keep making art and keep making films. And this movie is a great example of that. Even though we're limited in our resources, we're limited in how much we can see each other and get together to create art, you can still do something, you can still make something. And so I want to support this movie as much as I can because they did that, and they did that really well. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and rate this movie. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I have 6.5 written on here.
What type of rookie ball is that? You took your bite, you gave a score, you can't change it.
I can give it a 6.5. I'm going to rate this movie. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
So you went from 6.5 to a 7 for a round score. You change your score.
I feel like 6 is too low, but I feel like 7 is too high for what it is. But I don't want to downplay it. You know, I do think it's a really great film. 6.5 just sounds low. So for the third time, I'm going to rate this movie. I'm going to give it a 6.8 because I feel like it's closer to a 7 than a 6. I don't think that I'll watch it again. And so it can't eke into 7, 8, 9 territory.
Yeah. The first score you give, you can never change. That's rule 1 of the pizza game.
It's really good. You should watch it. It's really entertaining. It's a 6.8. So thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, tell me how you feel about this movie in the comments. If you guys have any suggestions about what I should review next, or if you want to see any top 5 lists or have any suggestions at all, just leave me a comment. Thank you so much. They showed the demon, and it was a very Signs moment for me. You know, the M. Night Shyamalan movie Signs, where you finally see the alien, and you're like, oh, where's the zipper? Like, it looks so dumb, you know? I had that moment with this movie where they, like, showed the demon a couple of times, and one time it really lingered on him for, like, too long, and I was like,